Ta-da! We are live. What's up, fighters? It is Sunday, December 29th, 4:22 p.m. Mountain Time. And I'm just excited to spend a few minutes with you guys tonight talking about how to make some more money, how to price your work for a profit. Because profit is a good word. It is not a bad word. So, Chris Scott, what's up? Good to see you here from Calgary. Nice to see you. Hope everything's going okay up there. X-Ray Dead or something, 503. Jimmy, what's up, homie? Good to see you. All right, so we're going to dig right in here tonight. Because I want to tackle some of this stuff. I know that, one of the crazy things about the trades, you guys, is that we don't often operate in a controlled environment. We're not like a factory where you're making, pens or something, right? Or parts for a car or whatever, where it's like an assembly line and it's controlled conditions and you're just banging things out, right? We're mobilizing to different job sites. We are, dealing with different scopes of work almost on every job. Sure, there's repeatable tasks that we do, but you guys get the point, right? It's what I found is pricing your work as a contractor, to me, has always come down to part art and part science. I'm going to talk a little bit about that here tonight. I will also tell you that some of the things I'm going to share here have the potential to make you more money immediately, guys. And this isn't some bullshit, scam thing or something, but like if you implement just a couple of these things that we're going to talk about and you do them consistently and you learn from it and you continue to implement and get better, you will make more money. I remember the first paint job I ever had to go bid that when I first started my very first company, I think it was 2002-ish, right around 2002. I had no idea what I was doing. Okay. And that's a lot of contractors, right? I'd worked in the field. I worked for my uncle. I was a foreman in his painting company. But then when it came time for me to go out and put my own numbers to something, I struggled. And I actually just used what my uncle did in the beginning. And it worked out okay. But then I had to figure out my pricing. And, guys, one of the things that I think is so important here, and pay attention to this as we get into this. Let me just say hi to a couple people here real quick, who's just showing up in my chat. Chris, X-Ray, Jimmy, Tony, what's up, man? Joey, Aaron, John, whoever else is here. I know we got about 30 people here live right now, a couple minutes in. But guys, it is understandable that most of us as contractors, we started working for somebody else. And then we did our own thing. Well, guys, when you are working with somebody else, unless you're really dialed in with your employer and they really know what the hell they're doing, and they're good at training you and educating and accountability and all the things that we talk about. Oops, what did I do here? I screwed something up with my screen. There we go. Now I can see you. Unless they're really dialed in, 9 out of 10 of us, when we open up our own business, we've never thought about the time it takes to do things. Okay. It's funny. If I were to sit down, and I used to do this with one of my old companies, we'd sit all our foremen down, all our crew leaders, and we would be like, I'd show a picture of a room and I'd go, okay, I would just put it up on the screen. I'd have 5, 6, 7 of our crew leaders in the room, whatever it might be for our weekly meeting, just for fun. And I go, okay, how much time to paint the walls in this room? I would just go, how much time to paint the walls? If I really wanted to mess with them, I'd say, how much time to paint the room? And I wouldn't tell them what to paint. And no matter what I did, until we started training people how to estimate properly based on some of the things I'm going to talk about here tonight, we'd get one guy that'd say 2 hours for the walls. We get another guy that'd say 8 hours for the walls and everything in between. Okay, so estimating, I've learned, is part art and part science. My goal here tonight, like I said, is to help you guys make more money by starting stronger by pricing your work for a profit. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, okay, is profit. I get a lot of grief in some DMs and sometimes some public comments and stuff about how I never talk about net profit here on this channel. And that's not necessarily true, but people are like, well, fuck your gross profit. Net profit's what is the only thing that matters. And I'm like, I understand where people who say that are coming from, because at the end of the day, right, it's about what you keep. 100% agree. However, I'm about cause and effect. Okay, so usually if you have a low net profit, the first domino that you need to deal with is your gross profit. And you don't understand what it costs you to produce a job. You're not marketing it up properly. Your gross profit isn't high enough, which just creates this domino effect of not making enough money. All right. Now, sometimes it could be a matter of you don't have a high net profit because your overhead is high. Or I've had businesses in the past and times throughout life and business. In fact, right now, a couple of years ago, I bought some guys out of a business. Okay. Well, that money is coming out of my net profit right now. All right. So on paper, my net profit is lower because of a buyout. Sometimes your net profit is lower because you're in a season of business where you're doing high investment in something or whatever it is. Hopefully you guys get the point here. Give me a fist bump in the chat if you're with me. All right. But the reason I talk so much about gross profit is that if you want a higher net profit, what's left at the end of the day after everything, including you, are paid, because you are not net profit as the owner. Okay. Net profit is what the business makes, not what you fucking make. So if you want the business to make money and to be able to reinvest and all that other shit, you got to raise your gross profit. And that's what I'm talking about here. And if you're not pricing for profit, you're setting yourself up to fail. And at best, you're just going to break even. And I don't know about you guys, I'm not interested in just breaking even. So key point number one I want to talk about here of how to price your work for a profit. Number one, you got to understand what's called production rates. Okay. If you don't know how long it takes to do a certain task in your business, you can't price it properly. And when you guess, you're pissing away your profits. Okay. So in order to get your production rates dialed in, I want to encourage you to start with the most common tasks that you do all the time. I'll speak painting here just because it's easy for me and I don't have to search my brain a lot. So I know that damn near every day we're fucking painting walls and we're painting ceilings and we're painting baseboards and we're painting trim, door casings and doors and window sills or whatever it might be. Or on the exterior, there's things that we paint all the time where it's just a paint job. All right. Now we're not doing decorative finishes and faux finishes and all that texturing shit. That we don't do that. Just not my wheelhouse. I don't like it. We just paint shit. All right. So the things that we paint on a regular basis, like I'll just talk about walls. Okay. Interior walls. We have a set production rate. What the expectation is in the company that number one, we use for bidding purposes and to come up with our price. And number two, what the expectation is of our painters in the field to produce the work. Now, pop quiz here in the chat. If you are bidding time to do a task and your team is doing the task in more time than what you bid it at, is that good or bad? Type it in the chat. Good or bad? I know the answer, and I know you guys know the answer. I just like to engage you guys. Bad to the bone, says Tony. There you go. Okay. So guys, we want to make sure that you are always working on your production rates. Now, my production rates have been developed over the years, okay? When I first started, I started by developing them by going, I think the room is going to take this long to paint, and we would paint it. And then I'd figure up how many total man hours it was to do the thing. And then I reverse engineered the math and I went, okay, well, this is a 15 by 15 room with 8-foot high walls, so if you're like, 15 times 4 is 60 feet around times 8, you got 480 square feet of wall space around the room, 4 walls, right? Over the years, what we have come to find is that you take the square footage of the room, not the floor square footage, well, unless you're painting the ceiling. I'm talking the walls, the surface you're painting, and we would divide that by 100. And we would come up with 4.8, round it to 5 man hours. So a 15 by 15 room, 2 coats of paint, our expectation that we bid against and that we measure against and that you're paid for, and the standard here in Simplify Painting and all my other painting companies through the years, the other 2, all right, that is the expectation, that you will complete 100 square feet of wall space, okay, per hour for 2 coats. So that means on a 15 by 15 room, if I walk in the room at 8 a.m., one of my painters walks in a bedroom at 8 a.m. and we're just painting the walls. That means basic prep, a little spackling, masking some base, pulling switch plate covers, blah, blah, blah. Cut, roll, pull tape, detail the lines, put the switch plates back on, move the furniture back, clean the room up, Swiffer the floors, vacuum the floors, whatever. It is 5 hours. So they start at 8. By 1:00 p.m., that room is done. Okay. And we would do the same for, baseboards. So if that room is 15 by 15, I got 60 feet of base. All right. I believe right now our production rate right now for 2 coats is 20 feet an hour. And that is basic prep. I'm not talking new construction base. I'm talking repaint. We go into Mrs. Smith's house. You got to clean the base off, maybe sand it, caulk touch up, 2 coats of paint, okay, this and that. So that room is about 3 man hours to do the baseboards start to finish. A ceiling, we would, it's overhead. Now up to a 10-foot ceiling, we have one and walls, we have a production rate, and then anything higher, it's slowed down a little bit. So if I have 9-foot ceilings in that 15 by 15 room, what's that, 175? No, 225. That's 225 square feet. We divide that by 80. So that painter will get, call it 3 hours to double coat the ceiling in that room. So if we're doing the ceiling and the walls in that 15 by 15 room and nothing else, all right, they're getting 3, they're getting 5 for the walls. They have 8 hours in one day. That room needs to be dialed in and damn near perfect. Does this make sense, you guys? Okay. So you got to break things down by task, the prep, the painting, whatever your thing is, the cleanup, add it all in. All right. And you can use historical data from other jobs to refine your rates. Okay. So production rates is the very first domino in understanding how to price for profit. Okay. All right. Let me say hi to some people. I know some more people jumped on. Sully and Ninja and Crazy and who else is here? I think that's it. At least in the chat, that is. I know there's a lot more people on here right now. All right, so number 1 was dial in your production rates. Number 2, if you want to price for profit, okay, please bid your work, okay? Aaron, I do not have a spreadsheet for production rates because they're your production rates. I have a spreadsheet for the next point here, which is the 50% gross profit once you figure that out, okay? And let me say this, you have your production rates. So like the 15 by 15 room, you guys, what did I say? 2 coats is 4.8 hours. So 5 hours. Then I add for other shit. Like if there's, drywall tape popping, I'll throw another hour or two on it. Those are the types of things. So the first part is science by formulas. And the second part is like, lick your finger, hold it up to the wind and go, I think it's going to take about this long to repair the wall. And then you just kind of track that shit, but you add additional time. So let me just say that. And he says you did have a spreadsheet. I don't think we have a spreadsheet on production rates. Okay. We have a spreadsheet on how to price for a 50% profit, which is key point number 2 here. Too many contractors, guys, underprice their work, thinking it will win them jobs. Okay. And I will tell you by experience that winning low margin work just keeps you broke. Okay. The only time that I will budge on this is if it is like a slam dunk of a project, there's no risk. So in the painting world, like if the house is empty, it's a bank owned property, they just want to flip it on a short sale and they want a coat of white on the walls. They're not going to be walking around, nitpicking with blue tape and all that shit. Then I'll just bid it to get it and have some cash flow, right? I'm cool with that. All right. But guys, as a general rule of thumb, most, you don't want to be pricing your work as a residential home improvement contractor for less than a 50% gross profit. So that means, let's go back to my 15 by 15 room. I had 5 man hours. Okay. So if I'm going to pay $40 an hour to my painter, that painter's making $200. And then I'm going to add on top of that about 2 gallons of paint. Okay. And depending on the grade, we'll just call it let's just say we're using Emerald by Sherwin-Williams, which is like $70 a gallon. Okay. So that's $140. So plus $140. Plus there's usually another, $30 or so on tape and plastic. Obviously I'm not buying a whole roll of plastic for everything, but I usually add about $30. So my cost on this room is call it $370. Okay. Well, to get a 50% gross profit, guys, remember, this is what I'm paying. This is what I'm paying to have my painter paint the room. I'm going to multiply that times 2, and I'm going to sell the room at $740. Okay. Divided by 5 hours, I have a sales rate of $148 an hour. Now, I track shit like that because it just helps me do math quicker when I'm bracketing for people in the sales process. But I know that, okay, it's usually about $150 an hour with material, okay, or less depending on the grade of the material. So in this case, it's a $740 room. And that means after I pay my guy $200 and after I pay $140 to Sherwin-Williams and another 30 and some sundries or whatever, I'm left with $370 divided by $740. That is a 50% gross profit. Okay. So a 50% gross profit does not mean like if your cost is $1,000 that you add 50%, which would make it $1,500. That's a 33% gross profit. It is doubling your costs. Okay. And the reason, guys, for this, there's a few different reasons. One of the big reasons is shit goes wrong on a job. I don't know about you, but very rarely does everything go as planned according to the estimate. And if you're not pricing your work at a 50% or better, and then all this shit happens, by the time you take a hit on the profit, because it happens, right? Weather delays, it slows you down. You got to shuffle guys around. You guys get the routine. It takes you longer than you thought on something or whatever it might be. Okay. That's eating into your efficiency. And so your gross profit of produced gross profit is actually lower. You might sell at 50 and produce at 40. Okay. So, but if you're selling at a 30 and you're producing at 20, you're fucked. And I see that happen a lot. So 50% isn't just to line your pockets here, guys. It's so that you can provide an amazing experience for your clients. So you can make enough money on the job to hire the best talent and train them and take care of them and keep them. It's so you have profit in the business, net profit that you can invest back into the business, and you could be in business long enough to honor warranties and be somebody's painter or carpenter or whatever the hell you are for many years to come. Okay. So if you want to price for profit, get dial in your production rates like I shared. Number 2, price for a 50% gross profit. Number 3, monitor your jobs daily to make sure they're on budget. I see this mistake happen so many times. It happens so many times. Okay. And by the way, everything that comes out of my mouth, I've made these mistakes. So I can spot these things a fucking mile away. All right. But the bottom line is, if you're just selling a job and you're not managing the production, making sure that you're on track, each job should have a job plan. What is the daily plan on the job so that you know you are going to finish the job on time? Okay. And if you are not monitoring those jobs each and every day, these things get away from you guys. Okay. And that's shitty. I see it happen mostly when people sell a bigger job than normal. Let's say your average job is 15 grand and you go sell a $150,000 job. If you're not careful, subconsciously you start thinking like, oh, we got this $150,000 job, we're rolling in the money. And then you take your eye off the ball and you're not selling with the intensity you need to sell in marketing. You're not managing the job every single day, like micromanaging the job. And then you wonder, you get the end of this fucking $150,000 job that you plan on making 75, 80 grand on, and you only made 30 grand on because you didn't manage it. So pricing for profit also means you need to produce for profit. All right. So every day, every task, hey, we thought it was going to be this long for demo in the kitchen. We bid this many hours. How long did it take? Like at the end of the day, okay, this thing's done. Are we ahead or behind? Okay, we're behind. Then you communicate that with the team and hold daily check-ins with your crew. Okay. Hold daily check-ins with your crew to assess the progress. All right. And I know there's softwares and shit that are out there. I don't get into that. Okay. Not my thing. So don't fucking type in there, what software should I use? The fucking software that makes the most sense for you and your industry. Okay. So, all right. Pre-plan your jobs. Okay. This is another way to have more profit on the jobs that you price. I made a mistake a few months ago at Simplify Painting where, and it was an honest mistake, but it was basically these people, they wanted the interior of the house painted, right? And they wanted the same wall color. They just wanted to freshen it up. They had the old paint in the garage or in the basement, 5 gallon, like a partial 5. And there were 2 partial 5s. Okay. Well, you know how on the lids of a 5-gallon paint bucket, you guys, there's the stickers with the colors. Well, whoever painted the job last or opened these things last, they switched the lids. Okay. So this color, and they were both like a white, like one of the main color was like alabaster by Sherwin-Williams, which is a popular color. And I looked at it and I'm like, it said wall paint written on it and it said alabaster. So I made the assumption, I didn't test it. Okay. So I didn't pre-plan it properly. I made the assumption, I bought a couple 5s, 2 or 3 5s of the wrong color. And I had to eat it because when we started putting it on, my guy's like, this is the wrong color. It's not the same color. All right. So again, this is what you would call it, pre-planning your jobs, crossing your T's, dotting your I's. Okay. You want to price for profit. You must be, my last point here, and then we'll open it up some Q&A. You must be job costing. Make adjustments based on job costing data. All right. So if you don't know what job costing is, it's basically an after action report. Here was the Smith job. We bid it for 100 hours. This is how many it actually took. Okay. Where were we heavy on the hours? Where were we light on the hours? And you adjust your production rates back to 0.1. Okay. I am constantly, I job cost all of our projects within 24 hours of completion. That's my thing. Okay. And I'm not exact on the materials because sometimes you're waiting for but I usually have the receipts and I have an idea if we're in the ballpark. The main thing is the labor for me because labor is the biggest profit leak. All right. For a contractor. So I know that if we are good on the hours, if we're at or under the hours bid, then we're winning. Okay. If we're consistently over, then I know I am either underbidding the time that it takes to do something, or my team needs to be trained to be more efficient, or a combination of both. Okay. So you got to be reviewing job costing reports after every project, identify where you lost or you gained profit in labor, materials, blah, 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 and then adjust your pricing, your processes, your production rates accordingly. Okay. One of the things I've learned is in our exteriors for Simplified Painting, I have one crew that beats our budget by 20% every time. And I have another team, okay, older guys that are a lot fucking slower. So when I bid a job now, I actually am bidding it for the crew doing it. I'm like, okay, here's so-and-so's crew. They're slower. I give another day or two on the job and I just charge more. And the other guys, I could be more aggressive because these guys always bang it out. They're younger, they're hungry, they do great work. And by the way, the team that finishes quicker, we never have callbacks. The other team, I always have callbacks. So anyway, got to be looking at this shit. So guys, hopefully this helps. I'm going to hit the chat here, see if there's any questions that jump out that aren't fucking stupid. Rusty's in the garage door business. In the garage door business, pricing low keeps you busy, making no money, full of customers who don't want to pay you. I started and lost 3 service calls. Yeah, there you go. And guys, listen, you might be charged higher. This isn't for Rusty. This is just in general. When you're higher priced, guys, I don't think it's always what you're charging. Like, oh, I'm bidding the job at 100 hours and we bill out at 90 an hour, so it's $9,000. The 90 an hour or whatever is not the issue 9 out of 10 times. The bigger issue when I see discrepancies in pricing is production rates. Okay? A lot of you guys are priced higher because you're giving it too much time. Again, I'm going to say something here, and hopefully you guys take this the right way, because I'm not saying this to be a jerk. But like what I have found, I'm going to take this hat off, it's hot. What I found is what's that? Hearing a noise over here. Nobody's home. Oh, well. I'm home. Your team, okay, your employees, all right? When you give them the hours on a job, like this is a 4-hour room, they should not be easily accomplishing that. You guys with me on that? Like for them to hit the bid time, they should have to fucking work and be focused and have some giddy up in their go. All right? And it shouldn't just be like a day at the fucking spa. All right? I personally believe that there should be a good amount of pressure for your people to hit the production rates. You're doing that every day. You're out there hustling your ass off. You're eating what you fucking kill every day in the sales process. You're busting your ass to fucking get the phone to ring. You're busting your ass, okay, in all these different ways in your business. And this doesn't mean like your employees should never feel the same pressure you feel, because you're the business owner. So I'm not putting something undue, but you mean to tell me the guys that make real money, like, it's Sunday right now. There's football on TV upstairs right now. You think those fuckers don't have a pressure to perform, or they lose their job, they don't get their signing bonus or whatever it might be? It should be the same for your employees. And that's just my opinion on it. Okay? Like if you don't perform and deliver high quality work in the fucking time that we bid it at, with a great fucking attitude and an amazing experience for the client and no callbacks, you get to not work here anymore. I will work with you. I will train you. I will coach you. But after a while, if you continue to not do that shit, I'm not here to just pay people for me to lose money. Okay? Guys, I've run businesses before where we were over budget on every single job for a whole year. And I was the only one that didn't make any money. Nobody else paid for it because I was too much of a pussy to have standards. Okay? Hopefully you understand the heart behind that. Your people are amazing. They're an asset. Okay? I believe in investing in people. But when push comes to shove and I just did a post in our free Facebook group. This is not about their intentions. Fuck your intentions. I'm about results. All right. You think Nick Saban, when he coached Alabama, like if you were an offensive coordinator there and you had good intentions to score a lot of points, but you didn't score a lot of points, you think he'd fucking keep you? All right. We are too soft when it comes to setting standards in our company. And having standards doesn't mean that you're an asshole. It just means you could be kind and direct. I've had conversations. I had a conversation not too long ago with some team members going, hey guys, there's some things that aren't jiving here on the money side. And so we're going to be changing some roles. I love you, appreciate you. I know your intentions are good, but we got to kick up some results here because I'm not going to continue, and this should go for all of you that own a business, when and this is a shitty place to be, and I've been there in the past in my life where I'm not going to watch my net worth stay the same or go down and run a fucking business where everyone else still makes money. Why the hell am I doing that? Okay? So quit being such a nice guy or girl, whatever you are. All right. Some other things here. The Ninja, can you give some examples of bizarre situations where it was especially hard for you to foresee a time frame to complete work or calculate likely man hours? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things like that, Ninja. You know, and that's where I bring my team in. That's where I have other relationships with other contractors, like other painting contractors I know. I will take my phone and I will take a picture or something. If I'm looking at it, I'll text my guys. And I'll be like, hey, we don't have a production rate for this. I have no fucking idea. What do you guys think? And we'll hash it out. We'll come to an agreement. Or maybe I'll text one of my other painting contractor buddies and I'm like, hey man, we don't do these very often. These, whatever it means. I'm just curious, you know, what kind of, I don't ask them what they charge. I don't fucking care what they charge. I want to know about the time. Okay. The time is more important than the money you're charging. Trust me. So that's how I would answer that, Ninja. Doing this had provided situations where things are going good and we did something extra, no charge. Yeah. When you charge more guys, you can throw in what we call a +1. You know, if you're painting the exterior and you got enough time in the job and you're making money, you clean your gutters while you're up. Their gutters while you're up there, and you come down and go, hey, just want to let you know we cleaned your gutters, probably saved you $400, you know, but we were up there and we just figured we'd do it while we were there. I mean, that's a great experience for me. We used to do that all the time. Jay, right on, went from 12% gross a year, damn, to 47. Awesome. Good to hear that. Is there other commercial property training besides the CCPIA? I don't know. I know there's a thing called Google, so fucking Google it. I don't know what you want training on, Luke. If you're selling and producing at 50, is it a volume game to be able to pay your overhead and have an owner's salary and have bet at the end? I don't know what that means. Bryce, I think what you're asking, if I'm selling and producing at 50 and I'm still not making any fucking money, that is a volume issue. It means you have a marketing problem. And I talk about here all the time, it's your month, okay? Your month as a business owner is all about filling the available airplane seats each month. We never want the plane to take off without all the seats filled. Seats to me are the available working days, the man hours. So if I got 3 guys, all right, and we're working 8 hours a day, that's 24 hours a day. And let's say in the month of January, there's 22 working days. I have 528 man hours or seats to fill. So if you're bidding and selling at a 50%, but you're still not making money, and your job costs, and you're completing your jobs, right, at a 50%, so you're on budget, and you're still not making enough money, you have a volume issue. You're correct. All right, I'm a GC. Usually build houses. If I'm doing a remodel and managing multiple trades, you still recommend 50%. That's day of battle. So day of battle, listen, we have a lot of people in our battleground program that are GCs that sub everything out, and they sell and produce. They sell everything at a 50% GP. All right. If you go back on this channel, earlier in 2024, I did a podcast with Anthony Abbott, who's a GC. He shared the story. I mean, he's sold $1 million projects before at a 50% gross profit, where it was costing him. Now, he actually fired that client because they were a pain in the ass, and he gave a $500,000 deposit check back because the guy was a fucking cunt. Pardon my language there, but the guy was a real asshole. Okay. So it can be done. That's up to you. Depends on your goals. Depends how many jobs you want to be doing. My take is if I would rather do 50 jobs than 100 jobs in a year. I'd rather do 500 jobs than 1,000 jobs in a year at my margins. Okay. So, because then I could have a smaller team. I can spend less on marketing, all that other shit. All right. X-ray, 10% is net. Company makes money. That should go into your savings. That way you know what your profit is. Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, great channel advice. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. What would you charge to install and wrap something Windows contractor? I don't know, D'Agosta. It doesn't matter what I would fucking charge. It matters what you would charge. It's your business. Okay? It's your production rates. I'm not a window guy. So I don't fucking know. How about $1 million? $1 million. There you go. Greg, what's up? Tom, for your new Simplify company, are you using lead gen companies, or how are you receiving new leads? Combination, mainly relationships. We use a little bit of Angie, LSA, Google LSA, and a lot of prospecting, a lot of networking, a lot of building relationships. That's how I'm getting leads. And Greg, this is a phase of the business. Okay. When you are a new business like I am, we started in July. Nobody knows us here. We don't have what's called a brand. We don't have a past customer list. We don't have, because shit takes time, right? So in this phase, this first year, I am buying leads. I spend about $700 to $1,000 a month right now on Angie. Actually, in the wintertime, I back it off. In fact, I'm basically taking the winter off, Greg, other than our relationship projects that we're doing and still prospecting and those things. But my ad spend for those third-party sites, which overall I think are shitty, okay, but they've also made me $200,000 in 4 months, mostly, okay? The reason I turn it off in the winter is every painter and their fucking brother is sitting by their phone when those requests come in, and now it's just a matter, and which is the case with most cold lead sources like an Angie or a Thumbtack. The client thinks, okay, that you're all equal because you were, quote, vetted by Angie or whoever it was, when that we all know that's not true. So I find that 50% of the leads that come in through those sites, we never get contact with, or they were a scam. They refuse to get on the phone or whatever it is. But the other 50%, I sell a decent amount of to make it worth it in the long run until I have a brand built. Does that make sense, you guys? You got to understand what season of business that you're in. My old painting company outside of Chicago, for every 100 leads that came in, 80 to 85 of them were past clients and referrals. So we hardly spent any money on stupid marketing shit, right? Maybe 15 to 20 leads out of every 100 were like a billboard or direct mail or Google or whatever it might be. But the longer you're in business delivering an amazing experience, you guys, you'll find that your lead quality will go up, and you won't have to spend money on. Now, I will always spend money on certain ads and branding type things. Like I got some Facebook ads that are going right now that are more for branding, and actually picked up a lead today, and it'll be a couple $1,000 sale when we close it, literally here on a Sunday, from a Facebook ad that I ran. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep up. This thing is moving. Do you prefer owners to take a monthly or quarterly or annual draw above their normal salary? It depends what you're budgeting for, Jay. Depends on your needs. Depends what the cash flow looks like. So, again, I don't mean to be vague in the answer to my question here, but it depends. It depends what your goals are. Carlos, we have no problem with closing sales and our numbers profit. However, our main issue is marketing. Do you have a class or course on anything specific to marketing? Yeah, it's called Marketing Bootcamp. If you go to the contractorfight.com, click on courses at the very top. There's our Marketing Bootcamp, Carlos. Greg, you can email help@thecontractorfight.com and explain what you want. He says, how can I get in contact with you or join your program? Yeah, if you're doing $500,000 or more, Battleground's a great fit. If not, you're going to want to join our contractor business school that's opening up next week. And then I do one-on-one coaching for people that do over $1 million. And it's a 1 day. I coach somebody I have different packages. So my annual package is $75,000. And I usually don't work with more than 1 or 2 of those companies a year. And they need to be doing generally $3 to $5 million a year for that to make sense for them. Okay. For those that are $1 million or more that want one-on-one time with me, it is a 1 day with me. You fly to Colorado Springs. We spend the day working on your business. And then 30 days later, you get a follow-up check-in call with me to see how you're doing. That's $15,000. Okay. 99.999% of you that are doing $500,000 or more would benefit greatly from Battleground. Thanks, YNL. Appreciate that. Sorry, my daughter's texting me. One of the girls. Let's see. I have a gutter company, built a good brand. Most of my leads are my website and Google. Looking at Angie when it's slow. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, Greg, is you gotta. To me, something like Angie is not the be all end all. It is simply a tool. Okay, so if you're in a situation right now where the phone isn't ringing as much as you want it to, then turn them on, and when it is, turn them off. I believe pay attention, everybody. I believe everything works in marketing. Everything you've ever heard of in marketing works. It just may or not work for you based on your skill level. Maybe you suck at something. Maybe you're really good at something. Just depends. Okay. I just know that 90% of the leads that come from these third-party lead sources are mainly tire kickers, and you got to be okay with that. If you get 100 leads in a quarter, I mean, I got 238 leads in my first 90 days of business. Okay. And all but like 12 of those leads were for paid lead sources. Out of the 238, I only spoke to like 100, 112 people, and I sold 32 jobs, but they were the right 32 jobs. I sold them at a 60%, 55, 60% gross profit. We made great money. So I'm okay with that because I have a sales process that I weed them out. I don't go see them all. Okay. I have a 10 to 20 minute conversation with them on the phone. Okay. Where we talk about the motive and the money and different things that are important to them. And if it makes sense, I give them a budget range of what it's going to cost. And if they're good with it, then I'll set up a site visit. So I'm not running around wasting half my life. Okay. I mean, literally, you guys, seriously, 238 leads. You're looking at 3 hours a lead with drive time, meeting with people, typing shit up, following up when they ghost you, all this other stuff. That would have been 714 hours in the third quarter of 2024, had I gone and seen every one of them. Divide that by 8-hour days. That's almost 90 days, 98-hour days I saved myself running around because I have a sales process. That's why I run this business. I run Simplify Painting part-time, like 16 hours a week, by the way. All right. Aaron. Business school. Yeah, Contractor Business School. It starts in about a week. There'll be more info coming out soon. So if you're not on our email list, subscribe to something on our website so that you get notified. I would like to network with property managers. We have capabilities to improve structure, mainly residential and commercial. How would I approach these nice people? You go see them, Luke. That's it. You literally go into their office. Okay? Go into their office. Hey, my name's Luke. You manage properties. I happen to work on properties. I thought we might need to know each other. That's literally the line that I use. Hey, you build houses. I paint houses. Thought we might need to know each other. Just open your mouth and be bold. Okay? If you want to get really crazy, start creating content. Okay? Social media, YouTube channel, your blog, Luke. Everything should be designed around all the questions that a property manager could ever ask about working with contractors. And over time, you will become the dude. All right. Vernon, do you have any advice on working with insurance companies? Nope. I know nothing about insurance, Vernon. Not a fucking thing. Early on in my career as a painter, we would get some leads that come in and, we're working with the insurance company. I never got the jobs, okay, because they don't pay enough. So when I have an insurance lead that comes in now, Vernon, I literally tell them it is $2,000 for me to come and give them an estimate. And then they hang up on me and I don't have a problem anymore. Okay. Like seriously, I don't mean to like blow your question off. I don't get the insurance game. I don't want to get it. I don't give a fuck about it. I know there's a lot of people that make a lot of money. Me personally, Vernon, it's rolling around in the mud. And I'd rather work with people that can actually take out a checkbook and stroke a check for whatever the fucking amount is. I'm going to charge them to do the thing. That's just me. 100% understand why some people do it. Just not my game. And so obviously I'm going overboard here answering the question that I don't fucking have a clue. Because I've never given it more than 5 minutes in my life to understand. Jake, you're welcome. What are your thoughts on offering a referral program to existing customers and helping generate new customers and being a gift card? So Jake, I'll tell you what, if you crack this code, and this is recorded, this is living on YouTube, if you crack this code and come up with a referral program, I'll give you $1,000. Okay? Like one that actually works. 20 years ago, my old partner and we were in this group of painters and in this mentorship group. Like we tried everything under the sun. It never one time generated a lead. Not once. Nobody cared. Here's what I've come to realize. And who is it? Jake, right? Is it Jake? Yeah. Jake, when you knock it out of the park with the experience that you give, that's it. Provide experience that is worthy of them talking about it, and they will talk about it, and you won't have to pay them a dime. I used to do several $100,000 a year just from what I call influencers. So like my home inspector buddy Joel would refer me, and my plumber guy cutting holes in walls would refer me to fix walls and paint the house and shit like that. Those guys never wanted referral fees either. Neither did I. They'd refer me. I'd refer them. I never wanted anything. I just wanted the person I referred them to, I just wanted them taken care of. Okay, so personally, this is 100% opinion, Jake. You can tell me to pound sand. That's cool. I wouldn't waste 1 millisecond of your existence on planet Earth creating a fucking home improvement referral plan because I've never seen one work. Okay, maybe you're the guy. Maybe you're the one that fucking makes it. Good for you, and you deserve to be a billionaire for that. But I'm telling you, 99.999 out of 100 people are not motivated by you giving them a fucking cheeseburger or a steak dinner at a restaurant. I mean, dude, we were given $500 gift cards to the best restaurant in town and didn't get one referral. And I had a database at the time of about 3,000 past clients for our painting company. They didn't fucking care. Okay. So anyway, hopefully it makes sense. You want to get more referrals, grab our 5 Steps to 5 Stars program, contractorfight.com/5-stars. We literally just launched it 5 There it is. Literally just launched it about a month ago. And I believe a few thousand contractors have already grabbed it and have great things to say about it. But it's all about not just getting 5-star reviews on Google, but it's about how to up the customer experience and get more referrals. Okay. Let's see. Greatly helped me stay strong, but it's not. You're welcome, Josiah. Thanks for being here. Z Real. If a client asks how much is your profit margin, would you tell them or no? Yeah, I do. I tell them one of two ways. I've had people go, man, you're priced higher than everybody else. What's your profit margin on this? And now I'm also trained, and we train people to ask the right questions. I'll be like, that's an interesting question. What makes you ask? And then I shut my mouth. And then if they keep pushing me, because sometimes they're just curious. We make the assumption that when they ask that, Z or whoever that was, okay, Z Real, we make the assumption that they have a problem with the price and they don't want to pay it. And that's not always the case. Sometimes they generally just want to know, like, I'm just curious, what's a painter make? How much profit margin do you guys make? Okay. Now, if they push me and they really want to know, I usually will say, we bid our work at a 50% profit margin, gross profit margin. And if everything goes right with that, when all's said and done, we'll make between, 15 and 20% net profit. I'm just 100% transparent because I don't fucking care. I don't need every job. Okay. I don't want every job. And I only want to work with people that respect me and they want me to make money. Did you guys hear that? Work with people that want you to be profitable. All right. So anyway, good question. Excuse me. Rudy. I'm running an electrical contractor here in Texas. Do you have any advice? That's an incredibly broad question, Rudy. I don't have advice unless you have a specific problem you're trying to solve. I will give you general advice. Market like your next meal depends on it. Sell like you're independently wealthy and don't undercharge for your work, and ring the cash register every fucking day. There you go. Pedro, how exactly did you start getting leads from the new painting company? I shared that 20 minutes ago. I'm mostly paying for leads now. Okay. Google, Angie, Facebook ads. And then I do a lot of prospecting. I just hired somebody to do business development for the company on a part-time level, and she will be responsible for generating leads in networking groups and chambers of commerces and with GCs and builders and property managers and all those different things. One more dumb question, says Luke. If you could choose between networking, fishing, a sport, or something else, what would you spend a weekend doing? So Luke, I'm an oddball. I don't have any hobbies. I don't hunt. I don't fish. I mean, I'll hike. I lift weights. I mean, I work out, so that's not like I'm spending a weekend. Honestly, it would probably be hanging with my queen, hanging with the wife. And that can mean a lot of things. Like today, Sunday, we got up, we went and worked out together. We came home, had breakfast, hung out. I like a low-key day where I literally don't have anywhere to go and I could read. I got 4 books I'm reading right now, maybe 5. So, I like to read and I like to work. Like literally, I like to work. So time off for me. It's fucking Sunday night, you guys, and I'm here. I don't need to be here. I like this. I like helping people. I like helping you win. So this is how I spend my time. I fucking work, and everyone in my family gets it. And they're cool with it. Anyone, you have a course teaches how to run ads? No, I don't. Do you outsource SEO or hire in-house? Both. I have a company that does it, and then mainly outsource it. But I'm not somebody, guys, that is going to pay, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a month for SEO. SEO is a long play. Okay, you can pay $3,000 a month for SEO for fucking a year and not get a lead. It all depends on your competition, your area, and a bunch of other stuff. So my SEO that we do is we create content. I write blogs. I answer common questions. I answer questions that people are asking Google, and I go up in the rankings. And right now with Simplify, I don't know how many we got. Probably have 16, 18 blogs that are done. We will have over 100 by the end of April or May. Simplify painting. Let me just look here. Share screen. No, it's not going to let me. Never mind. Cancel. Yeah, I mean, we have I've personally written all these because, again, I like it. What are the most popular paint colors in 2025? Why painting the interior of your home in the winter is a great idea. How to prepare your interior for a painting project, a homeowner's guide. Do I need to prime my walls before painting? How much do residential interiors painting cost and painters cost in Colorado Springs? Best interior paints at 24. What's the best time of year to paint your exterior? How do painting contractors determine their prices? Benjamin Moore versus Sherwin-Williams, which is better? How much does it cost to paint a small room in Colorado Springs? How much does it cost to paint kitchen cabinets in Colorado Springs? How to choose the right paint sheen? How much does interior painting cost in Colorado Springs? How much does it cost to paint an exterior in Colorado Springs? I mean, guys, if you educate, that's your SEO. Just educate. You have all the knowledge in your head. Quit being fucking lazy about it and create some content. Okay. Good question though. I outsource our ads. I have Google Ads, LSA ads that I outsource, but I don't pay for any SEO. I do my own SEO through creating content that people are actually searching for. Does that make sense, you guys? So anyway, brain doesn't shut off. Yep. Doing nothing can be a goal for the weekend. 100%. Christina from family motivates me. Yeah, me too, Rusty. Suggested courses for a company doing less than 500K. Aaron, sit tight until we announce Contractor Business School next week, and then grab that. Because I will tell you right now, it is stupid fucking cheap, okay? And you get access to a lot of stuff. So I'll just leave it at that. All right. Any other questions here? We're coming up in an hour. Last call. Guys, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. That way you get alerted when shit happens. Drop a special, says Greg. What does that mean? Nate Martinez, I'm struggling with doing everything in my remodeling business, from bidding, invoicing, talking with clients. How can I get out of the field so I can have more time to generate more leads and content? You need to hire, Nate. You need to price your work that allows you to pay for a right-hand person to run your projects. Hire a project manager. Okay? And pay, and don't, and you can afford it, by the way. You can afford it. You just need to charge for it. Okay? That's all. So don't be in a, I don't know what your revenue is, Nate, but don't be in a hurry to get out of the field yet. You're probably, and I'm just saying this, Nate, not to pick on you because I don't know you, but I know contractors, okay? And 95% of you watching this live or the replay right now, I would bet my fucking testicles, and you never bet your testicles, I would bet that 95% of you are wasting more than 50% of your time every week on shit that doesn't matter. That's why your business is not growing. That's why you think you don't have time to sell and generate leads and content and all that shit, Nate, because you're not, most likely, if I'm playing the odds here, you are not using your time wisely. Okay? It's that simple. Okay? A lot of you guys are watching shit on Netflix when you could be writing a blog post. You have time for content. You're sleeping in on a Saturday or Sunday instead of getting up and creating content or networking. Instead of joining a BNI networking group, you're fucking around at Home Depot, jacking off to the tools and everything in between. Okay. So again, guys, I'm just telling you, I'm 55. I've been in this game a long time. 95% of you minimum are wasting at least 50% of your time every week on shit that doesn't even need to be done. Okay. So anyway, appreciate you being here. Luke, one more question. I haven't posted about what we do before. Should I get a camera or use my phone? Just use your phone. Luke, use your phone and just make sure the audio is good and there's a light on your face and you're good to go. Create your content, buddy. And you'll get better as you go. You guys want to laugh? And when we're done with the live, go to my videos here and filter it all the way to the very first video, oldest video. I'm standing in front of a whiteboard. It was like 2013 or 14 or 12, somewhere in there. My son Dakota's on the camera. It's wiggling around. There's a glare on the board. I was insecure. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I kept showing up. I mean, guys, this video here tonight makes 461 videos just on YouTube in 2024. 461 videos I have posted on YouTube in 2024. That doesn't include what I've done on other channels, other social media platforms, or anything like that. Okay? So, Luke, you just got to start, okay? And you just got to keep going. You will get better. It's like anything else. Like the first time you jacked off, it was awkward, right? Now you're a pro at it. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, let's see. No, you're not getting into the course early, Greg, but there will be an early bird price. Henny, certain customers with certain backgrounds are only looking for the lowest bids. How to deal with that when meeting them in the house? Don't meet them in the house. Do it over the phone first. Buy our Shinfu sales training course and you get all the info you need before you go waste time with them. When you write these articles or you publish them, yes, they're on my website. Just go to simplifypainting.com, series of tubes or whoever that is, and you'll see it. Carlos, like pick your brain with painting business. You're clearly very knowledgeable. Well, one of the things you're going to get in Contractor Business School, Carlos, is access to me once a month. I'll tease that to you guys for a live Q&A where I bring you on the screen, and if you have a question, I will actually coach you. Old videos are gold. Yeah, they're funny. Luke, you deleted 2 messages there, man. What happened? Greg, what happened to the HGTV show? They didn't renew us for the second season. We recorded filmed one season. They put it out there, and their audience didn't like me. So we're done. That's all there is to it. Use POE as an AI writer. I don't know what POE means. I'm not cool enough to know the acronyms. That's Video Vigilante. All I would say is your content needs to be humanized, or else you can have issues with it being found if it's just all AI generated. So you got to humanize it. Yes, Pedro, all that. How do you go about getting a show is a better question. Greg, I didn't ask for it. They hit me up for months. I kept blowing them off. I kept deleting it. I wouldn't take his calls. There was some talent scout guy. He actually found me on YouTube. He's like, we want you to host this show. And it was a production company, and I blew him off for 3 or 4 months because I thought it was a scam. And I'm like, fuck it. And then he's like, just give me 10 minutes. Gave them 10 minutes. I found out it was legit, and I said, let's give it a shot. It actually cost me it cost me $750,000 to $1 million for me to do the show in distraction. Okay. Number one, for every episode, I was gone for like 3 weeks. And it was just a pain in the ass. I was away from the business, the Contractor Fight, and I have a great team and stuff, but I wasn't doing the things I normally do. And I did the math, and over the course of the 6, 7 months, 8, 9 months, probably all in, that we were filming and doing everything, it probably cost me a minimum of $750,000. No, Pedro, it's not on YouTube. I mean, I don't know if it's on YouTube. You can try it. The show is called Unfinished Business. Still playing bass or drums. Yeah, I play drums. They're right over there. Okay, so looks like we're done. No more questions for your business. So I appreciate you guys. I know I mentioned a couple different courses for you guys. So I'm just going to drop the link that has all of our courses, marketing, sales, numbers, all that shit is right there. Zero pressure, you guys. You don't have to buy a fucking thing. I don't care. I mean, I appreciate it, but I don't care. Hi, honey. And the guys, opt into something that we have, because you're going to want, especially if you're doing under $500,000, you're going to want to know about CBS, Contractor Business School, when it kicks off next week. I think on the 6th is when it officially opens. We'll have some things and some ads and all these other things running. But there's nothing else out there like it at the price point. I can tell you that right now. Okay. And the goal is to get you to $500,000, because I know a lot of you guys want to, grow multi-million-dollar businesses. Well, the first step is you got to get to $500,000. Guys, less than 5% of contractors do $500,000. Okay. So let's get to that first milestone and get you to $500,000. $500,000 is a point in your business, especially if you're doing 50% profit. You start having some options in your life. Okay. You can start saying no to bad clients. You can raise the standards for your team as you build a team. You can be more picky on who you meet with and who you don't meet with as far as clients. You guys get the idea. Guys, $500,000. I mean, if you just look at it here, what is it? 41 grand a month or some shit? 500 grand divided by 12. Yeah. 41.6 a month times a 50% gross profit. How different would your life be right now for those of you that are under $500,000 if after you produced your work in the field, you had 20 grand a month left to pay your bills, your overhead, like your website, your marketing, your salary, all that other shit? When you take 12,000 out of that right now, pay yourself 12 grand, you still got $8,000-9,000 left a month to run the rest of the business, the overhead, or whatever your numbers are. All right. So guys, again, get on our list. Okay. Get on our list and stand by for the announcement on Contractor Business School next week. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for weighing in here tonight. And it's 500K in sales, Aaron, top line sales. Guys, and do me a solid, subscribe to the channel and share this with another contractor. Okay, let me tell you why. The more contractors that are exposed to the things that we teach here in the fight, the mindset of money and charging what you're worth and all this other shit, you've heard the saying, a rising tide raises all boats. Okay, So the more contractors that have the knowledge that you have and the things that you're learning, it doesn't hurt your business. It helps your business, because now you're competing against people that actually know how to price their work. And you're not competing against people that are absolutely lowballing. And I think they unintentionally lowball because they're ignorant. They don't know any better. Okay. So let's help the industry as a whole. So that's why I ask you guys to share the show, share the channel. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. If I don't see you guys before New Year's, Happy New Year. And we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. I'm out.